I just can't give it up. Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy D Nolly, aka Don Squally, and in today's video, man, we have some sad news. The G35 has broken down for the first time, and I'm going to say a year, maybe two, since the clutch line blew. This time it's a little bit different. It's a little bit weird, but I did want to just, make this video because I know a lot of you guys are wondering when we're going to be throwing the nitrous on the G35 and actually putting it to use. Now, as you guys know, we installed the kit not that long ago. I actually have the bottle filled and it's sitting in the trunk of the Altima right now, but unfortunately the G35 has broken down, and it's a little bit of a weird story, and I just want to kind of make this video to see if anybody out there has experienced this same issue. I was on my way back from Costco doing a little bit of grocery shopping, as you often do with a car like this, four-door sedan, your typical grocery getter. On the way back from Costco, and I noticed the car was really starting to sputter. Check engine light was flashing constantly when I was driving down the street. Unfortunately, I didn't have my code scanner. I have like 2 or 3 of them, and one of them's in the garage here. I had another one in the Tundra, and I think the other one I found in the Altima a couple days after it actually happened. So I didn't have the option to actually scan the code and figure out what was wrong, and I didn't want to drive it too much farther. I had about another half an hour to go before I got home, and I definitely didn't want to damage the car. So I ended up getting it towed back to my place here, where I used one of my scanners, and I ended up scanning it, and it turned out that I had a misfire on cylinder 2. It was a P0302, so it was a misfire. So I'm like, okay, that's easy. Coil pack or a plug, which is an easy fix for me because I still have lots of parts from the beater G35 as well as Altimas and Maximas, which can be used in a pinch. So I ended up throwing in a new coil pack, which was, a 5-minute job, if that. Cleared the code, took the car for a rip around the block. It ran great. Honestly, there was no misfires or anything. I took it all the way up to Redline a couple of times, and then I got back to my house, and something inside of me just said, let me let the car idle for a little bit, maybe like 5-10 minutes. And when I did that, after about a minute, almost 2 minutes, the car started misfiring again. No check engine light flashing or anything, which was weird. Then I busted out my phone to make a quick Instagram video, and this happened. How to make your VQ sound like a Subaru. I don't know. Not really sure what to make of that. So as you can see, the car completely died out. Sounded like it was down on a cylinder, which was a little bit alarming. So I ended up taking out the coil pack, putting in the old coil pack, putting in a used spark plug from my beater G35 that I had, but that was still in half decent condition. Put the old coil pack back in. What you guys saw in that video was me revving it up and then the car dying. Like, I didn't turn the car off. It died on its own. And the car hasn't started since then. I had to actually pull it in the garage with my John Deere lawn tractor. And this is where it's been ever since. Now, initially, I thought it was something to do with the wiring inside of the nitrous kit that we installed. But I did go through, I went through all of the wiring. Everything seems good. Nothing's rubbed through or grounding out. But still, when I go to start it, nothing happens. And then you can hear the radiator fans kicking in. So that's kind of a weird thing for me. That's what makes me think that it is something electrical. Now, it has been kind of a busy week for me. I've been like working a little bit later than usual. A few things did happen this past week that have kind of, you know, halted a few of the projects here at the house. I got a few things I was wanting to do with the Tundra, as well as also try to figure out what's going on with this car. But I figured I'd make this video just in case somebody's had a similar issue with, you know, the car not starting, the radiator fan staying on. Now, if I had to guess what it is right now, because of that random misfire, I'm going to double check the wiring in here inside the harness. I also heard that this back cowl here actually lets water drip down into a tray that's under the battery, and that has a vent hole that's supposed to drain the water out of that tray, and when it gets clogged, the water can build up, and I think the ECU's in here somewhere, which can cause some shorting. Or my last thought, which has been an issue in the past, is that either mice or chipmunks have got into the engine bay or somewhere in the car and chewed some of the wires. Now, they did get into the ducting down here where the HVAC fan is, and made a nest on top of the filter, and that was pretty nasty to clean up. You know, so those are my three possibilities right now that I'm thinking of. But I mean, if anybody out there that's had a G35 or maybe even an Altima, Maxima that has had this issue and it's an easy fix, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a relatively easy fix. I don't think this is something serious. When the car was misfiring when we were driving home, it still had a little bit of power. It was just kind of putting when you were, you know, going slow or coming up to a stoplight. Then when I did put in the other coil pack and took it for a rip, like there was no problems. It wasn't smoking. There was nothing like that. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any suggestions, because I mean, cold weather is already here in Ontario, Canada. I mean, pretty soon I'm going to have to take this thing off of insurance, park it for the winter. We do have some winter tires for the Tundra, so I'm probably going to be taking that out, doing a little bit of drifting in, you know, in a couple of the snowstorms that we have, because I miss doing that in the G35, but right now this car is it means too much to me to actually drive this thing in the winter and potentially wreck it, or you know, drive it in the snow and add to the rust that's already on it. So we are primarily going to be driving the Altima, but there are going to be some times when it does snow I want to get sideways, man. So we're going to be going out in the Tundra. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So let me know what you guys think. I got the SCR wheels on the front. Nankangs are for sale, so if anybody out there wants a decent drag setup, definitely let me know. These would, I think, be a good tire for like 8th Gen Civic, RSX, something like that. This setup right here for the G35 is a little bit too small for me. Right now we got some 255 Michelin Pilots on the back there, obviously used, but should be decent for the rest of the season if I can get back to the track. I mean, we do have quite a bit of tire back there, so we'll see what happens. But with that being said, I'm your boy D Nolly, aka Don Squall. If you guys have any suggestions out there, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know. See if we can get this thing back on the road. I'm going to work on this within the next couple of days. So hopefully with your advice and me just messing around in the garage with it, in a couple of days, this thing should be back on the road. So as always, I'm your boy D Nolly, aka Don Squally. We gonna catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace.